The other differentiator from Plus is custom fields. If we go back to the Essentials file, and I like showing you guys so visually you can see the difference, because custom fields is no different in Plus as it is in Essentials. It's like a sales setting, isn't it? And I go to sales, usage, right here, custom fields, right? There's 3. And they only show up on an invoice, an estimate, and a sales receipt. And you have to manually type it. Still, I mean, you can filter detail reports on it, and that helps for some operational reporting. But I still have to type it in every time, and it's 3 custom fields. So that's Essentials and Plus. That's custom fields. I mean, if you guys are used to Premier Account Edition or your clients on Pro, they have like 5 fields for items, right, to add on sales forms. They can add columns in the target area. They have 15 fields for names. And then, Enterprise, you have drop-down lists and date range pop-ups. So that's where we went and decided to go with advanced. Okay, and if you go to firmofthefuture.com and read any of the trainer, writer, influencer, or some of the testimonials out there of accountants that have adopted advanced, their main reason is custom fields. Even though at this point I still think it's in a rudimentary level of, I think, this feature of custom fields, because it doesn't impact. Let me bring up an invoice. I'll show you what I mean. So this top area, they're still going to show up here. All these, like I created a drop-down field, right? This is 1. This is going to be for Rowan, job number. I mean, and depending on the customer, it'll flow over, right? Like the fields will show over from the customer record. So there's some great stuff that I'm going to show you when we dive into custom fields. I'm just showing you kind of the output. I'm on an invoice. It impacts a sales receipt, an estimate, also cost transactions, check, bill, expense. I mean, that's only an enterprise thing. And you have drop-down lists and date range pop-ups, which I'm going to show you too. So that to me is a really big deal regarding custom fields in advanced over, say, Essentials and Plus, which is just the 3 fields. Still, though, there's still 2 limitations, right, with custom fields, and then we'll go look at the custom field list and what it's all about. None of the custom fields at this time will show up in the bottom part as columns, or the target area, as we call it. It's only in the top part of the source area, the summary information area. And in customer-facing document, you can only show 3 still. So if I click Save and Send, or Share Link, or Print it out, it's only going to show 3 of the fields, but you can choose which are the 3. So you'd prioritize, say you had 8 fields you're tracking, of extra info beyond product and service, customer, terms, all that stuff. It's extra info beyond class location. It's just other things you're trying to track on invoices or bills or checks. You can only show 3, so I would just choose the 3 my customer needs to see. They might want to see their customer number. They might want to see their expiration or warranty date for support. They might want to see something else. All others are just on the screen for the business to make decisions and report on internally. I'm going to go to the gear icon, custom fields. It's its own setting under lists. So, and I have like an approver status, job number, PO number. I mean, you can add it for whatever you want. And notice it's not just sales forms. I mean, it even goes on credit memos and refund receipts now. And remember, sales receipt, invoice, and estimate, 3 fields, that's Essentials and Plus. But I have all these 2. And then purchases. So we know in Plus I can put 3 fields on a purchase order, but I can now put a custom field on a bill or a check or whatever. I could put like customer sales order number, or whatever people are trying to track on the cost side. It's always been revenue. And it still is in Pro and Premier. You can't put a custom field on a bill or a check or a credit card charge in Pro or Premier. You can do it in Enterprise. So I think that to me is a huge difference. And when you add a field, just so you know, I don't know what we'd be tracking here, but you can even do like, we'll call it like a warranty date or date purchased, different from invoice date or whatever, but warranty date's fine. What I mean, I'm going to choose date. See the types? You have date, drop-down list, number only, or text, right? Drop-down list is great for sales reps and other stuff. Date, obviously the date pop-up. And then I'm going to do it at the customer level, or you could do it at the transaction or the vendor. This doesn't mean it's target in the target area. It doesn't mean it's the bottom area of the form. I'm waiting for that. Then that's a real game changer for me, that. When the report builder comes in, when custom fields affects the columns of the actual invoice or bill, when we expand on the user permissions a bit, and add some more functionality around job costing and inventory, then yeah, this is really a formidable level of QBO. But I'm going to keep it at the customer because the other thing I failed to mention is I can assign fields to the customer record or the vendor one. And this is going to be on a sales receipt or an invoice. And like if I want this to print on form, I can. So I have warranty date, right? Let's go back to customer and let's go into Chris Smith, his record, because you can come to custom fields. And I have his customer number, warranty date. See, it's a date pop-up. So I can say he's good. He was good and through the Ides of March, all right? We'll say 15th of March, right? It ended. Now, why is this good? Because let's say he calls me up on an invoice or sales receipt. He's like, yeah, so I need to purchase this one thing, and I also need you guys to come out and fix the issue with this thing that you installed. The person doing this invoice or sales receipt can look at the field and go, well, the free support expired on 3/15, so we'll have to charge you for that. And then, maybe the client has other offerings you could do, like, do you want to extend that for 6 months for this much a month, or whatever it is the scenario. Being able to make this decision as the sales rep or person taking the invoice or the call or the order is going through, they just drop down, choose some fields so they don't type it in correctly, and they can see info about the customer to make a decision while they're doing the transaction, as opposed to having the customer record up to. I think that's really advantageous, not to mention that most of these fields on the detail reporting, like if I do sales by customer detail, you can add as a column these fields. We go down. I have warranty date, sales rep. You can add as a column. And the detail reports, not so much a P&L. It doesn't impact the profit and loss, right, or financial reports, or really the summary reports, unless there's a group by, but I haven't seen it. But they do show up on detail reports, so I can group by sales rep or whatever you're trying to track. Or a warranty date report, just to see who's coming up on the warranty date. Let's go ahead and offer them this extension or whatever they're another service that provides or subscription they're trying to get their clients on. All this information you can track now in advance with these custom fields.